You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. In our lives, we often feel overwhelmed by daily challenges, caught in a cycle of reacting to problems rather than resolving them. It can feel like being caught in a storm of stress and uncertainty, pulled under by the relentless pressures of work, relationships, and a future that seems more uncertain than inviting. Each day can feel like a battle. But what if a philosophy from over 2,000 years ago held a framework to not just weather this storm, but to command it? A way to find opportunity in every obstacle and unlock a calmer, more resilient version of ourselves. What if every problem could become a catalyst for our own growth? This is not about abstract theory or empty affirmations. It is a practical guide, a set of ancient tools sharpened for the modern world. These are 7 Stoic steps to becoming your best self. Step 1. Shift your perception of the problem. The first and most fundamental step in the Stoic framework is to radically shift our perception. The Stoics understood a profound truth. No event is inherently good or bad. Its nature is determined entirely by the meaning we assign to it. It's not the situation that holds power over us. It's our judgment of the situation. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now." There is immense power in that statement. The source of our suffering isn't the chaotic world outside. It's the story we tell ourselves about that chaos. A lost job, a failed project, these are not, in themselves, tragedies. They are neutral events. They only become tragedies when we label them as such. This can be a difficult idea to accept, especially in the middle of a painful experience. But this is where the practical application begins. The Stoics would challenge us to see every obstacle not as a roadblock, but as an opportunity. This isn't about pretending that loss doesn't sting. It's about a conscious, deliberate reframing of our mindset. Consider a modern example. Someone has been working tirelessly on a major project, only for it to be canceled by management. The immediate, untrained reaction is often frustration, anger, and a sense of wasted effort. One feels like a victim of corporate decisions. A Stoic, however, would pause and reframe. The project is canceled. That is the fact. Now, what is the opportunity? The opportunity is to practice resilience. The opportunity is to demonstrate professionalism by handling the setback with grace. The opportunity is the sudden gift of free time, which can now be invested in another skill, a different project, or one's own well-being. The problem hasn't changed, but the relationship to it has. One moves from a position of passive victimhood to active agency. The philosopher Epictetus put it this way: "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." By changing our judgment, we change our reality. The obstacle is not in the way, the obstacle is the way. This single shift is the cornerstone upon which all other Stoic practices are built. Before we can solve a problem, we must first decide that the problem is here to serve us, not to break us. Step 2. Develop an internal locus of control. Once we begin to change our perception, the next logical step is to understand precisely where our power lies. This is the second great pillar of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. This principle is about dividing the world into 2 distinct categories: that which is within our control and that which is not. Epictetus laid this out with perfect clarity in his handbook, the Enchiridion. He states, "Some things are in our control and others not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever, are our own actions. Things not in our control are body, property, reputation, command, and, in one word, whatever are not our own actions." This isn't just a philosophical platitude. It is an ultimate productivity system for the mind. So much of our daily mental and emotional energy is wasted on things that are firmly in the second category. We worry about what others think of us. We get angry about traffic. We are anxious about the economy. In all these cases, we are investing our most precious resource, our attention, into things we have absolutely no direct control over. The Stoic practice is to consciously withdraw energy from the uncontrollable and reinvest it into what we can control. We cannot control whether a boss promotes us, but we can control the quality of our work and our attitude. We cannot control a traffic jam, but we can control our reaction to it, choosing to listen to something educational instead of fuming with rage. We cannot control a past mistake, but we can control what we learn from it. A powerful exercise to put this into practice is to take a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. On one side, write "not up to me," and on the other, "up to me." When feeling overwhelmed by a problem, list all its components. An impending layoff at a company goes under "not up to me." Updating a resume and networking with colleagues go under "up to me." This simple act is incredibly liberating. It doesn't mean we become passive or don't care about outcomes. On the contrary, it allows us to apply our effort with surgical precision. It focuses our entire strength on the battles that are ours to command. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself of this. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the act of reclaiming our power from the randomness of the universe. Step 3. Practice cognitive distancing and objectivity. With our focus now aimed at what we can control, the third step is to refine our judgment. It's about learning to see things as they are, stripped of the emotional and subjective layers we instinctively add. The Stoics called this the discipline of assent. We can think of it as practicing cognitive distancing. The core idea is that our initial impressions are often biased. We see events through a lens fogged by our fears and past experiences. The Stoic task is to wipe that lens clean. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is in our power to have no opinion about a thing and not to be disturbed in our soul. For things themselves have no natural power to form our judgments." One effective technique is to describe the situation like a reporter, using only objective, value-free language. Instead of, "I had a disastrous meeting, and my career is ruined," one would say. During the client call, there was a disagreement about the project's timeline. The client expressed dissatisfaction. The first statement is a story loaded with catastrophic emotion. The second is a set of facts, the facts we can work with. The catastrophic story paralyzes us. Marcus Aurelius took this practice to an extreme, training himself to see a fine wine not as a luxurious drink, but as rotted grapes, and a lavish robe as sheep's wool stained with the blood of shellfish. He did this not to be morbid, but to strip away the subjective value our culture attaches to things, allowing him to see them for what they truly were. Another technique is to pretend you are advising a friend on the exact same problem. When we are enmeshed in our own troubles, our vision is tunneled. But when a friend comes to us with an issue, we often see it with clarity and perspective. What would you tell a friend in your situation? Now, apply that same compassionate, objective advice to yourself. This is the practice of observing your thoughts from a distance, recognizing that you are not your thoughts. A thought is just an impulse. You don't have to believe it or act on it. You can observe it, assess its validity, and decide if it is worthy of your assent. Step 4. Premeditate adversity. Premeditatio malorum. The fourth step may seem counterintuitive in a world obsessed with positive thinking. It is premeditatio malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils. This is the Stoic art of negative visualization. Instead of only hoping for the best, the Stoics made a regular habit of preparing for the worst. The philosopher Seneca argued, "If an evil has been pondered beforehand, the blow is gentle when it comes." The goal is not to dwell in anxiety, but to inoculate yourself against the shock of misfortune. It is building psychological resilience by rehearsing hardship. In the morning, one might take a few moments to think about the day ahead. What could go wrong? A big presentation could fall flat. You could be late for an important meeting. After imagining these scenarios, you ask, how would I deal with that? If the presentation fails, I will ask for feedback and learn from it. If I'm stuck in traffic, I will calmly call ahead. This exercise does two things. First, it often leads to practical preventative measures. Thinking about the presentation failing might prompt one more run-through. Thinking about traffic might make you leave earlier. Second, and more importantly, it robs adversity of its most potent weapon, surprise. If any of these things do happen, you won't be caught off guard. You have a plan. You've mentally walked this path. Seneca advised practicing voluntary discomfort to eat simple food, wear basic clothes, and live without usual comforts for a few days. He would ask himself, is this the condition that I feared? The point wasn't punishment, but to prove to himself that he could survive and even find contentment in reduced circumstances. It replaces the fear of loss with a quiet confidence in one's own resilience. This is not about becoming a pessimist. It is about becoming an optimist who's prepared for anything. Step 5. Cultivate patience and embrace the present moment. Having prepared for the future's worst, the 5th step brings us back to the now. It is the practice of cultivating patience. In a world that promises instant gratification, patience has become a forgotten virtue. For the Stoics, however, it was a cornerstone of a well-lived life. Stoic patience isn't just passive waiting. It is an active state of acceptance. It is understanding that some things take time, and fighting against the natural flow of events is a recipe for misery. Epictetus used a simple analogy. No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen. We wouldn't yell at a fig tree to ripen faster. So why do we get frustrated when a career isn't advancing as quickly as we'd like? These things, too, have their own seasons. The practical application is to reframe every moment of waiting as an opportunity to practice this virtue. This ties directly to the Stoic emphasis on the present. Seneca warned against the trap of living for the future. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. We are so often consumed by planning for or worrying about the future that we miss the only thing that is real, the here and now. When we feel overwhelmed, it's often because we are trying to carry the weight of the past, present, and future all at once. The Stoic solution is to put down the burdens of what has been and what might be, and focus on the single task in front of us. As Marcus Aurelius advised, concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice. Step 6. Lead by example and embody your philosophy. The 6th step moves from internal practice to external action. It is a simple yet profound instruction from Epictetus. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. It's easy to talk about being a good person or share inspiring quotes. It is much harder to live it. The Stoics had little patience for armchair philosophers, those whose actions didn't align with their words. True influence comes not from what you say, but from what you do. When faced with a crisis, are you the one who remains calm? When a colleague makes a mistake, do you respond with compassion rather than blame? When wronged, do you choose integrity over revenge? Our actions are our most powerful sermon. People may doubt what we say, but they will believe what we do. Think about the people you most admire. Is it because of their lectures, or because you witnessed their courage and integrity in action? This principle is also a tool for personal accountability. The focus shifts from persuasion to demonstration. Instead of trying to convince your family to be more resilient, show them resilience. Instead of complaining about the lack of integrity in a workplace, be a beacon of it. This is not about seeking praise. Stoicism teaches that doing the right thing is its own reward. You act with virtue because it is the right thing to do. It's a quieter, more humble, but ultimately more powerful way of moving through the world. Step 7. Practice love and compassion while maintaining boundaries. The final step might be surprising. Given its reputation for emotional toughness, many overlook the central role of love and compassion in Stoicism. The Stoics called this sympathia, the belief that all things are interconnected, and amor fati, the love of one's fate. The core idea is that we are all parts of a larger whole. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is not good for the beehive is not good for the bee." This means practicing kindness towards others is not just a moral duty, but a rational one. Seneca stated simply, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." This compassion extends even to those who wrong us. The Stoic view is that people do wrong out of ignorance, not malice. They don't understand what is truly good. When someone is unfair, A Stoic tries to respond with understanding rather than anger. At the same time, this compassion is married to the concept of amor fati, or the love of fate. This is the practice of not just accepting everything that happens, but loving it. As Epictetus advised, do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens happen the way it happens. Then you will be happy. This is a radical act of acceptance. It means loving the job you lost because it pushed you toward a new path, loving the hardship because it forged your strength. Marcus Aurelius used a powerful metaphor. A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. For the person who practices amor fati, every event becomes fuel. This does not mean being a doormat. Stoic love is compatible with strong boundaries. You can understand why someone acts poorly without allowing them to harm you. So, there we have it. The 7 Stoic steps to transform obstacles into opportunities. First, we shift our perception, understanding that it's our judgment, not the event, that causes harm. Second, we develop an internal locus of control, focusing only on what is in our power. Third, we practice cognitive distancing, seeing the world with clarity and objectivity. Fourth, we premeditate adversity, building resilience by preparing for the worst. Fifth, we cultivate patience and embrace the present moment as our only point of power. Sixth, we lead by example, embodying our philosophy instead of just explaining it. And finally, seventh, we practice irrational love and compassion for others and for our own fate. This framework isn't a quick fix. It is a lifelong practice, a process of rewiring the way we think. But it can be started today. The path forward is not to try to implement all 7 steps at once. Instead, choose just one, perhaps for the next week. Focus only on the dichotomy of control, consciously asking with every challenge, is this up to me or not up to me? Or practice premeditatio malorum for 5 minutes each morning. Let us know in the comments which of these steps resonates with you the most right now. Sharing the commitment is a powerful first step. The path is laid out. Now, we must simply walk it.